Hello, I'm Laura, and this is Marissa, and we're going to talk about the web process at Keenability. Of course, we'd love to have magic wands in, our back pockets, but we don't, so magic would be awesome, but unfortunately, we are not magical here. I mean, I don't know if you are, and maybe you secretly went to Hogwarts and didn't tell me, Or the other thing that people think is we have a keyboard that says build website and we just hit that button and it just magically appears. It's actually nothing like that, right?
Not at all.
Where we start is really creating the site plan. That's the first thing that we do.
Right.
And that's basically just outlining what's going to be on the site, from homepage to about us, or whether it's going to have 20 e-commerce pages, whatever it's going to be, that's where we lay out the site map. And we'd like to get approval on that before we even move forward.
So with a site map, you get a layout of the website mostly, and from there we can design wireframes, which kind of makes the website functional.
The wireframes are just really an architectural drawing, so to speak. There's no color, there's nothing, but it's very important. And you also had mentioned that it was your favorite part of the whole process.
It is my favorite part, yeah. It's funny because it is in black and white and most people think, oh, that's so boring, but I don't know, just thinking about like how everything functions and it gets the gears thinking in the brain.
I mean, I can see that though, because it's where you kind of get to put yourself in the shoes of the visitor of the website and see, okay, how are they going to interact with this?
Absolutely.
And then have to do it in black and white,
right,
and without design. So it's it seems simple, but it's actually very difficult, and it's actually what lays the foundation for everything. So you have to do a good job, or else you're going to end up with something that is not user-friendly. And user interface, I know because that's your specialty, is very, very important.
It is very important.
If your user can't navigate the site and can't find what they're looking for, it's pretty pointless to create a website. And then you said once the wireframes are approved by the client, once they've had the opportunity to navigate the various pages, and we do that with several different programs. I think XD is one of the ones that we use more frequently, and
right. Sketch would be the other one.
Yeah, and that allows people to really interact with the wireframe and kind of navigate like they would on a typical site, so they're not using so much of their imagination and are able to do it live, which I think is very helpful for clients. And then we move on to the design.
Yeah.
Which is really filling the gaps and putting the brand into the wireframe, which is where you get to see it come to life, really. Yeah, photos, color, all that fun stuff. Yeah, so that's where you would do all the colors, the typography, any fonts, anything that's going to be associated with the site, headlines, etc. And then once that's approved, then we get to do the front end. Yeah. And that's where you do like the CSS and all the stuff, but that's still not a functional site. No. We still have one more thing left after that. The back end. The back end. That's right. We have to do the programming, and that's where if you have a CMS system, that's where you get to incorporate that. If you have any kind of special functionality, that's where that step goes. Otherwise, you're going to end up with a very beautiful site, but no functionality. Yeah. So that also, the functionality is also thought about in the wireframing portion of it, because you need to say, well, this needs to function in this way, there's this call to action, and it has to yield this result. So that's another thing that goes into the wireframe. So it is a very important part. Yeah. And it is fun. I mean, I agree with you. I've always liked the wireframe process because it forces you to think, and you have to just create all that functionality without having it be pretty. Yeah. So I definitely see that. So overall, the process can take anywhere from 6 weeks to 8 weeks, depending on the site. It can take months. Good websites take some time, I think, to do it right, absolutely. And that's important because it's a big investment, so you want to make sure that you get it right. So that's pretty much our process at Keenability in terms of how we take a website from beginning to execution and ultimately launching it, which is fun.
Yeah.
But even after you launch it, there's still testing and things that have to be done because it's a website and it's ever changing.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever seen a website, stay the way that it was when it launched? Yeah, I haven't either. I mean, it pretty much, it's not like print. Print, you just do it and it's done.
Yeah.
But a website, you'll constantly have to change. The SEO has to be maintained. There's components that will change. There's information that has to be changed. Especially when the iPad and all those things came out, the iPhone, the iPad, they changed the way that we navigate. It became very deep and things like that because those were the devices we were using. So things like that play a role in how often you also have to update your site. More that, the content, there's so many little pieces that ultimately make a website a never-ending story.
Yeah.